The first type of curriculum that I will be discussing is the explicit curriculum, and examples of it that I saw in my cooperating teacher's classroom. The explicit curriculum includes the formal instruction and everything that a teacher has to include in his or her lessons as instructed by the state or district. This is the material that the educator intentionally teaches. For example, if a teacher delivered a lesson in a totally empty classroom but was recording audio of the lecture, the information in that recording would be regarded as the explicit curriculum. This is the easiest type of curriculum to spot in my cooperating teacher's empty classroom. One very obvious example of explicit curriculum in my cooperating teacher's classroom is her calendar wall. She uses this time of day to go over what day it is, what the weather is like outside, and how many days they have been in school. The entire ritual is very automatic to the children, even this early in the year. The entire class sits on the floor in front of the calendar while one child leads the rest in saying out loud what day of the week, month, and year it is. Then they sing the songs that review both the days of the week and the months of the year. After that, they pull names out of a jar for two other children to help establish what day of school it is and what the weather is like outside. The results of each are recorded on the wall by the means of a bar graph and a place value straw chart. The teacher is able to integrate mathematic review and basic information about the day all in one morning rally. The children also use this time of day to say the Washington Creed together, instilling a sense of citizenship and community in a very direct way. The way that my cooperating teacher has her center time designed is very explicit and to the point. Before she even let anyone participate in them, she went over each activity that could come up at this time and let the entire class go through a practice run. As you can see from the picture, she has group members listed on cards that include a fun movie character on each and places them in slots that let the students know exactly which center they should be at. Each center has a specific purpose that is clearly stated. She even writes what each center is on the board and has them sign in at each one. That way, they aren't repeating any. Over the duration of each center, she has a countdown clock up on the smartboard. It lets the students self-monitor when they should start cleaning up and getting ready to move on to the next one. The implicit curriculum is much less obvious to spot than the explicit. This is also known as the hidden curriculum. Implicit curriculum is information that students pick up without being told out loud. It is strongly related to societal rules and social norms. Most of the time, this type of curriculum is found as a result of a lesson or the procedure presented, rather than within the actual lesson or procedure itself. This procedure in particular is interesting because the procedure itself is very explicit. However, the lesson and social norm that it reinforces is definitely implicit. My cooperating teacher posts these magnetic signs on student lockers every week that tell the student exactly what their job will be for the week. When a student doesn't have a job title in their locker, they are considered to be on vacation. She also gives the option to these students to cover shifts for students with jobs that are absent. This procedure teaches students about the social norm of having a job to keep order within a group. If everyone has something to do, communities can run much more efficiently. Being a responsible citizen within a community is an important role that children will have to learn to grow into one day. This implicit practice is helping them prepare for that without even realizing it. The next classroom strategy that my teacher employs is called the mystery walker. It helps keep order while walking in a line in the hallway. This is how it works. My cooperating teacher and I each pull names out of this container. The names will signify who the mystery walker is. The children have no idea who this is. And while we walk in the hallway, we remind them that we have mystery walkers that will be rewarded if they set a good example for the rest of the class. When we get back to the classroom, we reveal whom the mystery walker was and dish out copious amounts of praise as we reward them for their good behavior with classroom dojo points. This implicit strategy just reminds the kids that they never know who is watching them and that it is always a good idea to stay on their best behavior even if they don't know that they'll be rewarded for it. The null curriculum is described as the message sent by the content that is left out of the teacher's lessons and daily routines. Working in schools in this day and age gives little room for teaching everything that an educator feels that they need to. This leads to tough decision making and in choosing what content is important enough to make the cut and what isn't. This type of curriculum is the most understated and often the most powerful. The most pronounced example that I have found of null curriculum is the poster of classroom rules that my class came up with together. Since the students helped come up with the rules, it is easy to see that they know what they can't do. What is largely absent are the rules that outline how they should act. It isn't completely missing from the poster, but it is definitely outnumbered by the warnings against acting like a maniac. The theme that is most commonly found among these rules is the stuff that they have been told not to do in the past. If we were able to tell our kids how we want them to act more often than how we don't want them to act, how different could the behavior and attitudes in our classrooms look?